Just imagine there is a sudden catastrophe in the whole world. No one knows how it happened. In the midst of all this chaos, a man is trying to find his pregnant wife. The city was surrounded by rocks everywhere. There were many abandoned cars. Will thought for a moment and took a gas mask from a fire truck. Soon, he reached the building where he had a flat. He climbed through the fire escape and entered through a window, but half the building had already collapsed. On a wall, there was a message from Samantha telling her location. After a while, Will left for the airport. Before leaving, he told Samantha that he would ask her father for her hand in marriage. The first thing Will did when he arrived in Chicago was attend all his business meetings. The next morning, seeing Will's eyes open from a video call from Samantha, he felt hope that he would come back. Will repeatedly tried to call, but no one was picking up. When he reached the airport, he learned that all flights had been canceled. The news reported a terrible earthquake near California. After a while, even the news signal went out and the entire airport lost power. Tom decided he would go find Samantha, and Paula would go to their son's house. Now, both Will and Tom set out together to find Samantha. There was heavy traffic on the way, and GPS and network signals had completely failed. Then some people woke up to Will and talked about snatching his car. When things got too intense, Tom said, "I'll give you money for a minute." But he took out a gun instead and showed it to them. On the way, they saw many army trains heading west, which made them realize the atmosphere was really bad. At night, a police officer stopped their car. Tom immediately understood he was not a real policeman. Tom handed the gun to Will and tried to drive, but Will didn't know how to unlock the car. This went on for a while. Then, on the way, Tom turned the car, and the fake policeman's car had an accident. Going a little further, they saw some deer on the road. Tom turned the car to save them, but Tom was attacked from behind and knocked unconscious. Now Tom had severe injuries to his ribs. Soon, he used the fake policeman's car to pull out their car. The next day, they arrived at a trailer. The radio said only shortwave signals were working. There was no response from the government about what had happened. No one knew what was happening or how it was happening. Helicopters were flying in the sky in a very strange way. Tom saw his injury when he went to the washroom. His wound had worsened. Ricky also told them that the car was only temporarily fixed and could break down any time. In the evening, they saw a car coming behind them. They immediately stopped and turned off the lights. Everyone was silent until the other car passed. Using the car as a guide, they started following it. After a while, Ricky checked his compass, which was moving very fast. There were strange changes in the Earth's magnetic field. Both cars fell off the road. Will checked the first car but found no one alive. Ricky saw another car where a woman had died. Ricky and Will saw some strange clouds. It seemed something was wrong. As they passed by, the car caught a radio signal. The reporter said there was no internet service anywhere. Mobile phones were out of network, and despite many efforts, no news was received from the government. But when Will told the sheriff that he knew some people there and mentioned their names, the sheriff agreed to help. Soon, Will arrived at the house of an old friend, Mac, who was very upset and said he had nothing to do with his husband. Will took a shower when he got the chance. Ricky maintained the car, and Tom filled water bottles. Samantha was constantly crying, remembering her husband. Will consoled her, saying everything would be fine, but he did not stay with her for long. When they traveled a short distance, they saw a lot of smoke. A military airplane had crashed. Everyone thought maybe someone had attacked the country. After a while, they arrived at a water park where the cash register was empty and the tires of all the cars had been cut. However, petrol cans could still be filled. Tom couldn't lift more weight because of his injury, so Will took responsibility. Samantha was expressing her love for him over voicemail, but the message was more tearful than her voice. Tom also tried to call his wife, Paula, but there was no signal. They saw a very special line of smoke rising from a distance. As they went closer and saw the view, their senses were blown away. The whole area was burning with fire. After walking for some time, a woman asking for help appeared. There was also her car on the side of the road with a punctured tire. Ricky and Will took pity on her and wanted to help, but suddenly some men came out with guns. Tom took out his gun, but fell due to the pain in his broken ribs. Then those men forced Ricky to fill petrol and ran away after stealing the remaining petrol cans. Tom was constantly in pain and couldn't fire the gun, so he handed it to Ricky and asked him to shoot. Ricky missed a few times, but then shot one of their tires and blew it up, reversing their car. Since there could be an explosion at any time, Ricky was asked to run away. Luckily, they were far away when their car exploded. After a while, Ricky told Will that he would have been driving if he hadn't fired. Otherwise, the car would have crashed, or he would have died. But Tom and Will explained that Ricky had saved his life. If he hadn't shot, they would have hit them. They were shooting to kill. Soon the sun began to rise, but Ricky had not yet returned. Will called his name, but there was no answer. Many of his things were missing. Tom said they shouldn't have brought Ricky with them for a while. They then stopped at a crash site where there were several cars and a train. Will wanted to get some gasoline from there. When Will came back, he noticed Tom couldn't breathe, possibly because a piece of his ribs had broken. They moved on again. Tom asked Will to promise he would take care of his daughter, Samantha. Both shared old memories of their lives, and Tom finally accepted that Will was a really good person. Then some armed men came their way, but those men did not let Will go further. Will realized that if he stayed, he would be in big trouble. Two men started chasing him on bikes, but Will turned the car in such a way that both bikers crashed. Now he could move forward, but a truck was blocking the way. Tom opened fire while Will drove the car. After a while, Will stopped the car, looked at Tom's body, and started thinking about what to do next. He decided to continue walking without stopping, but during the night, the car broke down in the middle of the road. In anger, he threw petrol on the car with Tom's corpse and set it on fire. This was Will's way of saying goodbye to Tom. The next day, Will started moving towards his destination on foot. Some people saw him in the cars and left. There was no radio signal during the journey. After some time, they reached Will's father's house, where Will told the family, "You can take whatever you want from here." With the help of a car, he soon reached his destroyed city of Seattle. Now the story has reached where it started. Seeing the address written by Samantha in his flat, Will immediately went towards her. After things calmed down a bit, Will told Samantha about her father. He also said that if he hadn't been there, he might not have reached here. While sleeping at night, Will's fire was opened. When he came out, he saw Samantha. It was said that whatever happened was due to a severe earthquake. The next day, when Will asked Jeremiah about this, he said he was driving two children away from there. Both had run towards the forest. But in the forest, there was a bonfire made of deer. Will understood that something was wrong with Jeremiah. Jeremiah said that Samantha couldn't go anywhere. He pointed his gun at Will. Suddenly, a dangerous black cloud was moving rapidly towards them. Will quickly called Samantha, and they both got out of there in the car. They were driving at full speed, with a sandstorm chasing behind them. If you've been moved by this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful tales that inspire and captivate.